up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tea with Teaa podcast. Listen, I hope that you have been enjoying season 2. Listen, if you are tuning in today over on Apple or Spotify, we love that you are there, but we want you to come join us over here on YouTube as well. Why? Because season 2 is the food and faith edition. Yep, that's right. For season 2, I'm going to be in the kitchen cooking and talking about the faith journey. Sometimes I'm going to have some amazing guests. Sometimes I'm going to be solo dolo. So we don't want you to miss out on all the amazing activity, not only that you can hear, but that you can see. All right, y'all. So I told you sometimes I'm going to have some incredible people with me. Guess what? This episode is one of those episodes. Can y'all give it up for my girl, Miss Brittany Clay? Woo! Come on, y'all. Give it up for Brittany. What's up? What's up, Miss Brittany?
Hi.
Y'all say hi to her. Brittany, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Brittany Clay. I am a believer, married to the wonderful Rob Clay.
Yes.
We have 5 children. We're a blended family. And we just love people, love God. We want to teach people how to trust God, love themselves, and respect everybody else.
I love that. Come on. Who doesn't need a little bit of more love, trust, and respect for themselves and for others? That's awesome, Brittany. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. This is so dope.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. So season 2 is the food and faith edition, right?
Yes.
So we're in the kitchen.
Yes.
We're doing a little bit of cooking, but we're talking about faith, right? That's really important for me because God speaks to me a lot through my cooking. If you don't know, your girl is a self-proclaimed home chef, okay?
And it be looking amazing.
Thank you.
Yes.
I absolutely love to cook. I really do. But that's a lot of times where I get revelation and insight or just have thoughts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so here in the food and faith edition, to this tea, if you will, this transformation and encouragement or application, today we are talking about the ingredients of, drum roll please, patience. The ingredients of patience.
That's a mouthful right there. The ingredients of patience.
We are.
Most of the times we struggling just with the one word of patience, right?
Come on, now you got to add some stuff to it.
Who we?
We're talking about the ingredients of patience today, you all. So I thought, what better dish, if you will? It's not really a dish, but what better thing to make today than some roux for gumbo?
Oh, my goodness.
We're making some roux today, but it's for gumbo. This is why this is important. See, roux can be made from multiple things, right? You can make a roux for a gravy, like some biscuits and gravy. That's a really light roux. Takes about 2 or 3 minutes to make. You can deepen it up the color of your roux, and you can use a roux for maybe a brown gravy. Think about gravy for, turkey on Thanksgiving. That may take like 10 to 15 minutes to get that beautiful color that you want. But a roux for gumbo, it needs to be dark chocolate brown.
And
so
it's going to take some time.
Come on, it takes time.
Yes.
Y'all, roux for gumbo takes about 35 to 45 minutes.
You taught me that.
I did?
You did.
Okay, I love that. Tell me how that even came about.
I mean, well, when you reached out to me and you told me that you were going to be recording an episode and you were going to be using the roux, and you said it was going to take about 30 to 45 minutes, I said, well, I've never made gumbo because I've just made gravy. I let my grandma do the gumbo.
I know that's right. Come on, Grandma.
But honey, when you said 30 to 45 minutes, I was like, I'm going to keep letting my grandma. Because patience, that's a journey between me and the Lord.
You said I ain't gonna try my hand at it. It's a real thing. It takes patience to make a roux for gumbo for sure. And so we're gonna dive in. We're gonna talk about the ingredients of patience while I make this roux. Right. And so really quickly, let's get into these ingredients. Now, a roux is just simply this. It is part fat, part flour. Okay. Today's choice of fat is vegetable oil because vegetable oil is gonna burn slow because we're going to be cooking for so long. But it can also be butter. I love to use butter if I'm doing like a roux for gravy where I'm just kind of cooking out that flour for 2 or 3 minutes. Or even if I'm making a homemade cheese sauce, right? You can use butter, you can use a mixture, you can use different types of oils. But today we're going with vegetable oil. So we have 3/4 cups of vegetable oil going into our Dutch oven. You want to use a nice sturdy pot, a cast iron skillet, a Dutch oven, something like that. We're going to let this warm. Brittany, can you put that over there in that one? Thank you. We're going to let this warm up just a little bit of this oil. Then we're going to pop our flour in, which is also 3/4 cups. And we're just going to stir for the next 40 minutes.
Girl,
come on, y'all, pray for my muscles.
Switch over arms. I got you.
I love that. Oh, this is so good. So to me, it sounds like an ingredients of patience is having someone there with you. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I think
can we talk about
teamwork, togetherness, somebody that can hold your arms up like they did.
Wow, that's so good.
With Moses.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do. When you have to go through a journey of patience, you need people that will be in your corner to say, hey, I can take it from here.
Wow.
You can take a risk. Because even in the midst of any journey, just like how God created the earth,
Yeah.
the heavens, well, the earth in 7 days,
Yes.
but he rested on that seventh day.
Yeah.
He doesn't expect anything else from his children.
Man, this is really good. Okay, come on, y'all. Brittany is coming out the gate with the nuggets. Okay, come on, y'all. Catch that tea. We are saying one of the ingredients of patience is teamwork, having someone there along with you to help hold up your arms. And I think that's really fitting for today's roux for gumbo. And I keep saying that roux for gumbo because not all roux are created equal, right?
So
the
true.
timing for them. And I think even that matters, right?
Absolutely.
When you're on this patience journey, this journey of patience, even when we're talking about teamwork on the journey, every person isn't equipped for every point of the journey. Oh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and everybody on the team has a different position.
Come on.
You know, I'm married, like I said, to the wonderful Rob Clay.
Shout out to the wonderful Rob Clay. I'm adding in our flour, and we about to just keep stirring. Okay,
let's keep
Can you
stirring.
drop that over there for me?
Can.
Here we go. Come on, I'm listening.
And I know that there have been times that I've been like, we're all in, we're a team, we're this and we're that.
Yeah.
But even in marriage, sometimes there are struggles, and sometimes there are times when you need help. And so I remember having to speak with my therapist, and she said,
okay,
you know, you may be on the same team, but you all do not hold the same position.
Wow.
And that really spoke to me because,
that's very good.
You know, I expected him to be the point guard, the center, the 3, the 4, all the positions for me.
Yeah.
And I was just the ball that was supposed to go through the hoop. I was the star. You know what I'm saying? I'm the game. Like, put me in. I'm going to be in. I'm in the game. Exactly.
I'm the trophy. You're going to get me after all of that.
Absolutely. So I would want Rob to play every single position.
Wow.
But I wasn't necessarily stepping up when I needed to be in position. You know what I mean?
Wow,
and so going back to patience and going back to teamwork, know your position. Like, know
that's really good.
Know where you are, where your strengths are, and know where your weaknesses are, so that you can have somebody. Just like, I'm not about to make no gumbo.
Come on.
But I know Teaa can.
Come on.
And I can hit up Teaa and say, hey, boo, I need some gumbo.
Yes, you sure
and
can.
She can get that arm stirring. I can say, hey, I'll come over and stir for about 15 minutes.
And you can get some gumbo too for $5.99. No, I'm just playing.
Just a bowl, a cup. You know, you
Send it too. No, I'm just playing.
At the restaurant, that you get a cup or a bowl. Yep. It's $5.99 a cup.
Come on.
So anyway, but yes, just knowing your position and knowing how you serve best.
That's really good.
You know, and then where you really need to trust God.
Because, you know, this is what I know for sure. On a journey of patience, you're going to know where your blind spots are. Like, the people will let you know, but you will let you know too, right? We all have a me that we cannot see, you know? And sometimes, oh, look, we're getting a little bit of a bubble.
Let's go,
Check
bubble.
this out.
I love it.
So this is letting us know. So
that's beautiful.
If you're listening and not watching, the roux mixture, the flour and oil is beginning to bubble. So this is letting us know that things are coming together nicely. So I'm going to turn my heat down. Okay. We started on about medium high. I'm going to come to medium now, and I'm just gonna keep stirring, like I said, and wait for that color. Is this too noisy? Awesome. Perfect. Y'all, this is real life stuff. So I just asked the producers, it's too noisy. We don't mind it because listen, when it comes to being patient, you got to be fully tapped in. Yes. It can be a little messy sometimes. It can be even a little noisy.
And I think it's really good that you did that right in the middle of you talking and all of this, because a lot of times people are afraid to ask the question.
Oh, that's good. Brittany, come on. Expound.
Yes, from experience. You know, growing up, don't ask me no questions.
Yeah, true. Don't.
If I say it, do it. If I say, you know, jump, well, we weren't even supposed to ask how high. So I just had to jump
and hope it's the height.
But I was conditioned and taught that it wasn't okay to ask questions. It wasn't okay to question God.
Yeah.
Those things were just not okay. So for you to say, hey, is this too loud? Hey, how's my outfit? Hey,
Yeah.
whatever the question
Yes.
is, being able to articulate it
Yes.
and ask that to the right people.
Yeah, I think that's really good. It reminds me, I think another ingredient of patience is accountability.
Oh, yes,
You know,
for
talking about
sure.
teamwork, as you said earlier, but accountability, right?
Absolutely.
Like, who are the people that I am accountable to? Who's even accountable to me? Who can I ask the tough questions? Because here it is, spoiler alert, it's okay to not know everything. Okay? Like, it's okay. It's okay to not know.
Perfectionism is a thing.
It's a thing. And it'll have you bound, right?
Really,
and
like,
stuck.
just like this.
You know? Going in circles, huh? You got me going in circles.
I'm just saying, like, it can. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think of the scripture. It's found in James. I believe it's found in James. Let's just say the scripture. Y'all can look it up.
Right.
But it says that we ought to let patience have its complete work.
Yes.
And so it says that we should let patience have its complete work. There it is. Thank you. Count it all joy for when you come against various trials, knowing, yes, that the trials of life, that they produce patience, and let patience have its complete work so that we can be complete and lacking nothing.
That is so good.
And I don't know about you, but when I'm growing in patience, which I think is a journey, I don't always look at it like, oh, this is amazing and this is going to allow me to be complete. But it is in fact true. The Bible says that if we would allow patience to have its complete work, that if we would allow it to be worked out in us, worked through in us, that we'll be complete, which tells me patience is something that we need. You know?
It is absolutely something that we need. Yeah. And then it also allows for not only our experience and for us to become complete, entire, and wanting nothing, but what we're looking forward to be complete. And have you ever... I don't really want to get into the whole relationship thing, but I'm big on relationships. But have you ever just met somebody and you just knew they was the one? He was so fine. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we going out. We doing this.
Yes. If you say it twice, it's real.
Like, we doing this. And then you like, oh man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Because he was not entire. He wasn't complete. He left you wanting.
Yeah, it's good.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I just think that patience has its place in every single area of our lives.
Yeah, that's true.
Accountability. And, back to relationships. Who are you, testing these people against that you are so-called wanting to hang out with, wanting to date?
That's true.
What are they speaking into your lives? Where did we even find this person? Like, was he in the garbage disposal? Because I found a couple of them too.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I've been there, and it takes patience to be in the right thing, right? To be able to wait. And here it is, Brittany, not just wait, but wait well.
Wait well.
Because waiting well,
patiently,
it looks away. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness.
Come on.
I don't know. This came to mind. And it's not my words. It's not my quote, but I just saw it yesterday. Somebody said, God's patience with us is not his approval.
Ooh. Hold on. Break that down.
Like I said, it wasn't mine.
Come on. But what is your take on it, though?
My take on it was like, for instance, he's called me to something, to write some books and do some things that I have been really slow playing on.
Okay.
Be careful, boo. Mm-hmm. You good?
Yep, keep going.
He's called me to do some things that I really slow played on.
Okay.
And I knew that it was time, and I piddled with it.
Okay.
And he didn't reprimand me. He didn't come down crashing down like, if you're not going to write for me, I'm going to make your computer fall out. He didn't do any of that.
That's good.
He was just patient. Mm-hmm. And he would gently guide me and remind me, hey, this is something that I've called you to do. However, now that I'm getting the work done, I can see where it would have been and could have been so much more beneficial in the season that he asked me to do it in the first place.
Wow.
And so now, because God is so good, he's still patient, and he still makes everything work together for our good.
Yes.
It's going to work out. But I get to learn the lesson patiently now. I have to be patient.
And you get to be complete.
I do get to be complete, but I also get to be patient with the fruit that I'm looking forward to. That could have been and had the fruit that I wanted.
Right.
But I wasn't obedient. And so, but God's patience is not necessarily his approval.
That's really good. Like, just because he's being patient doesn't mean he's like, yeah, keep doing that.
Yeah.
But he is patient. So he's going to wait. He's not going to force himself, right? There's a scripture. I believe it's in 1 Peter, but it says this, the version that I'm more familiar with. It says, God is not slow concerning his people, concerning his promises, as one would consider slow, but he's patient that all would come. Basically what it's saying is God ain't moving slow. He's patient.
Yes.
He's not taking his time. He's giving you time.
He's God.
Come on.
And
he can come like that, right?
Exactly. And his timing is his timing, not ours.
Correct.
God is the superhero. We're the sidekick.
Right.
And a lot of times we want to play the superhero and have God be our sidekick. Like, oh, we gonna do this. Okay, God, come with me.
Right.
Okay, I want to do this. Okay, God, bless it.
Yes.
I want to do this. I'm gonna, go save the world. Okay, God, come with me. And that's just not how he operates, because he's God.
Because he's God. Okay. So let's pause for the calls real quick. Come check this out. Look at this roux. Can you see the color changing?
And it's so
Can you smell
beautiful. I can smell it. I can see it. It is gorgeous.
It's silky.
It is.
Come on. What I'm loving is we're getting to see this right in front of our eyes, right?
Yes.
It's no different than when it comes to patience. If you just keep working it, if you just keep doing what you're supposed to do, right? If you just keep waking up every day saying yes, taking the step, whatever it is for you, whatever verbiage you want to use, you will get to see your work. You will get to see yourself growing in patience. Like here we are, we're seeing this roux turn colors and we're getting to smell it. I love that multiple of our senses are being tapped into right now. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we get to see it, but we get to smell it. And see, look, here's the deal. This is super cool. Now that we've reached a certain color, it's moving a little faster. I don't know if you're noticing that. From the moment you just looked a minute ago, it's already getting
momentum.
Yes, it is.
When you stare, it's a little bit more slushy that you can hear it.
Yep.
Another sense.
Yes. Exactly.
At first we were just hearing that spoon.
Yes.
Now we can hear that liquid.
Yes. To me, that communicates growth.
Yes.
To me, that communicates fruit of me being patient, right? Like patience will pay off, I think that's another ingredient of patience is the fruit of it. Like if you keep at it,
Yes. And I'm trying to stay in the now and stay present.
Okay.
But I'm just looking at a pot of gumbo. I can already see the shrimp and the sausage. And I don't know what all you put in your gumbo, but I can see it.
You can see it. Brittany, listen, here's the deal. I know we are making light of this, and that's a real thing, but that's even how it works with patience.
Exactly.
Come on, can you speak to that? Come on.
Yes, absolutely. We get to see the Bible tells us to write the vision and make it plain.
For sure.
And so that when you dang, I lost it.
I got your back. Come on. So it says write the vision and make it plain so that men may pick it up and run with it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And so when I see that you already knew what the vision was for this roux. You knew what the vision was for speaking on patience.
Yeah.
And now I'm catching it.
Come on.
I am catching your vision. And I know that in just a little while, you're going to have one more ingredient that can go in gumbo.
Come on.
The base ingredient.
Come on, the foundation. This is so good. Come on, keep going.
That can go into this gumbo.
Yes.
And create your vision. And it did start off slow. It started off with preparation. It started off with scheduling. It started off with planning. It started off with flour and oil.
Come on.
And now it's in a pot. And now she's stirring. Her arm isn't tired.
It isn't.
It is not, because God has given you the grace to sustain your arm.
That's right.
Listen.
So good.
And although I do have to be patient and wait, maybe a day or two, a couple of days, maybe a week for her to come through with this gumbo for me, for this cup of gumbo. I see the vision. I know that, you know what, let me contribute to this. Maybe I'm going to run by I know she's not making it today, so maybe I can run by the store and grab the shrimp. I know, go by the store and grab the sausage.
This is so good.
And others will want to contribute to the vision because you made it plain. And although you're in the journey, and although you're still staring, and there's not a pot of gumbo here by far.
Come on.
But the roux is coming together.
Yes.
There are the momentum has picked up. The
This is so
momentum
good.
has shifted
Come
because
on.
of your patience.
Yeah, I hope that you are catching what this woman of God is saying. This is so very good. One of the things that I want to piggyback on that you said,
Sure.
you talked about how my arm is not getting tired, and it is not getting tired.
I
Like,
can tell,
legit, it's not. Like, I'm ready to really get in that thing, you know?
But
what?
I
Come
know
on.
you want to pick up.
Come on.
But you were able to slow down because it liquefied.
Come on.
Because it's a smoother stir.
Yes.
So even though you were kind of stirring hard at first, now you can stir a little bit slower, which gives your arm a little bit more rest.
You can ease up a little bit. It may have been a little tough in the beginning. It may have required, come on, patience may require a little bit more of you in the beginning. But if you just hold steady, if you keep going, if you stay dedicated, if you stay committed, if you stay disciplined, you'll be able to ease up even in the midst of still being patient. It won't look like it looked in the beginning.
That's right.
That's so very good.
That's good.
You all, this color is beautiful. So the color that we have now is just really beautiful, almost like peanut butter brown.
Like
this would be good. Come on. This would be good for a brown gravy because this is what you need to know. The color that you have now will lighten just a little bit when you add your different veggies here and your stock, your liquid of whatever sort that is. Whether that's going to be water, a milk, a stock of some sort, chicken, beef, veggie, anything like that. And so you want to know that. So I always suggest people take it a step further in color. Like in this case, if you're making a brown gravy, I'm not saying make it as dark as chocolate for like a roux, gumbo roux, but you do want to maybe instead of stirring it 20 minutes, do 22. So it can get just a hair darker so that when you add your liquid, if this matters to you, the color is still what you're wanting.
Who taught you how to cook?
Okay, girl, you know, it's a journey. So my maternal grandmother is one of the people who is very instrumental in my learning how to cook. My father also has some help dibbling, dabbling in that, but for sure, my maternal grandmother, my mother's grandma, listen, was in that kitchen getting down. Then I had an aunt who also helped me learn, and then also, but then my paternal grandmother taught me how to bake and make sun tea. I loved it. As a little girl, and so she would be at the counter baking and putting all the things together, and she had a stool for me, and I would come sit on that stool and learn. And so those are the people in my life who were definitely been instrumental. But if I'm honest, and I think it's evident now that we're here, God really has given me a passion for this. And so it's just something that's come naturally, you know. It really, really, really has. It's been some trial and error, but it's come natural in that way.
And the way he speaks to you, through when you're doing your videos, and I'm watching, and I'm like trying to eat it through the phone. And then I'm like, and the word, like I'm getting fed. Like you said, if you say it twice, it's serious.
It's a real thing, right? Yes. I mean, and you know, some of you may know, you may not, but I used to have a catering company.
I did not.
Yeah, I did. I was on staff at a church full time, and so it was during that season that we ended the business, if you will, because it was a lot, beautiful, but a lot, right? Nonetheless, though, this is how the catering business started. This is the fun fact that I want to share. So the way it even started is, you know, I was cooking and I would post my different meals and things like that to social media. And someone hit me up and she says, "Hey, can you cater my sister's bridal shower?" And I'm like, "I'm not a caterer." And she's like, "What?" She's like, "What's that food that I'm seeing on your page?" I'm like, "Girl, that's my dinner." Like, that's just the food I'm cooking at home. But I said, I mean, I don't know if I can cater it, but I can cook for it. You know, back then I didn't have the language because catering is what I did. But I did. I end up cooking for, if you will, catering that bridal shower. And from there, some things were birthed.
Wow.
And Teaa Cooks Catering Services was birthed. Because at that particular event, at that bridal shower, there was probably like 75 people there. I had like about 6 or 7. "Hey, can we get your card?" Like, you know, and I wasn't prepared for that because I'm like just moving along, happy, excited to be cooking, you know. But it was a thing. And so, they did. And I was honest. I'm like, you know, I actually don't have business cards, but I'd love to take your number down. And something else happened in that moment. I said, you know, I've never done this before. And I remember my friend who was with me, she pulled me to the side. She says, "Teaa, you have done this before." Wow. And in my mind, you know, I'm trying to be honest and integral, which are good things, but I was being overly like, I said, "But I've never catered. I've never da-da-da." She says, "You've always hosted. You've always cooked. You have us over as friends. Game night." Like what she was communicating was you've actually been walking in this. Now it's just maybe a new level or even a new understanding or knowledge of it.
That's
you
so
know
good.
what I mean?
And when we tie that into patience, we want to be patient with ourselves.
Yes.
Sometimes we give ourselves the least amount of patience,
Come on.
the least amount of grace,
Come
the
on.
least amount of love.
Come
and,
on.
Above all things, God wants, above all things, the number one commandment is love God
Yes.
with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength.
Yes.
And love your neighbor even as yourself.
Yep.
So it's sometimes we just leave that part of self out of the equation, and we just loving our neighbor, loving God, loving our neighbor, loving God.
Okay.
But the only way we can learn truly how to love anybody else is how we love ourselves.
Wow, that's really good. So it sounds like another ingredient of patience and the journey of patience is not only understanding and grace for self, but love. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Well, 1 Corinthians 13,
Yeah.
4, love is patient.
Okay.
I just really believe that because patience is the first thing that it speaks of in
that's
that
true.
scripture. It has to hold some kind of pertinence, some importance.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is kind.
Oh, okay.
But so with love is patience. When I think about that, I think about all the times that my son runs past me and jumps on my sofa.
Okay.
And I've told him time and time again, do not jump on my furniture. I happen to appreciate this furniture.
Yes.
And if you continue to jump on it, the older you get, the heavier you get, the more it will break down the furniture. And then you're just going to be sitting on a pile of wood.
On the ground. You're going to be sitting on the floor.
You really are, because I'm not going to keep no raggedy couch.
Come on.
And so I've still, even though I've articulated this to him, I've given him an illustration of what it could look like, pulled things up on the internet to show him.
Yes.
And he's still all boy running, jumping, and doing all the things that test my patience.
Come on.
But I still love him.
Yeah.
And I don't go around like a bully trying to attack him just because my patience has been tested.
Yes.
Because everybody isn't impatient about the same things that
this is good.
I'm impatient about.
Yes.
And so when you can be patient in love, when you can love a thing, you can wait on it.
Yes.
You can be kind with it.
Yeah.
You can be gentle with it. And I really believe that gentleness is a form of patience. Because when I'm impatient, I lose it. I tend to have all this fear and build up and all these things that God has not given me.
Okay.
That the world has taught me to have and that I've conformed to having. Which is not power, not love, not a sound
which is what he says we do have.
Exactly. I get to wigging out.
Yes.
And I allow all of those things to take over instead of calming myself down and being patient with the fact that, okay, this is happening, but what does God say?
Yeah.
What do I say?
Yes.
Do I have to respond?
Yes.
Do I have to react?
Yeah.
And is there a better way for me to react versus going all in, going all ham, and screaming at the top of my lungs like I did on that Facebook post to my daughter that you saw when she reached up there and grabbed that cookie and that cookie fell, and I was like, if you would have just waited.
Yeah. Wow.
You could have had the whole cookie. I had to just tuck mine in because she could have had the whole cookie. And the Holy Spirit was like, yeah, if you would have just waited, what? Because there were so many things I was thinking about in that moment that pertained to my life that I hadn't waited on.
Wow.
I didn't let patience have its perfect work.
Wow.
There are so many things that were incomplete that I was trying to, piece together and hang on to that was not of God.
Wow. So
because I was afraid of missing out.
This is so good. So you're saying that you fussed, if I'm understanding correctly, you fussed at your daughter because she was wanting some cookies and she was trying to get in the jar. She knocked it over and the cookie that she wanted was now broken. Because she wouldn't wait. And you fussed, but God said, hey, but what are you not waiting patiently on? That's really good. So what this tells me is sometimes when we're not patient, we can end up with pieces when what we're supposed to have is something whole.
Correct.
Something holistic, whole thinking, whole friendships, whole relationships, a whole marriage, a whole business. Come on, a whole recipe, right? This is what's important even as we're making this roux, a whole pot of gumbo, right?
A whole
plan. Because if we get impatient, I think about even stirring this roux. The reason why we have to go at a slow rate and stir this roux to obtain the color and the flavor that we want is because if we rush it, we'll burn it. If we rush this process, it'll end up having black specks that are burnt and they taste burnt and there's no way to recover. You literally have to start over. So here you are, you've been standing for 30 to 40 minutes, stirring flour and oil to get the achieved roux color that you want. And because you said, oh, it's just the last minute or two, I'm going to rush it.
I'm going to turn up that
fire. I'm going to do more than I need to be doing in this moment. And now I've ruined it. So now I've wasted 20 to 30 minutes. How many things have we wasted because we didn't choose to be patient? I didn't waste it a lot. Time, resources, people. I've mismanaged people because I wasn't being patient. I wasn't allowing even my own self to be developed so that I could properly handle a friendship or relationship and opportunity because I didn't want to be patient.
Listen,
then I was getting pieces.
To me, I'm just going like.
So this is what I want to pause and do. Brittany, can you look up the definition for patience?
Yes, I sure will. Let me go to actually.
Come on.
It says it's a noun.
Okay.
It's a noun.
Come on, it's important.
The capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset.
Read it again for the people in the back of the YouTube channel.
I got to. The capacity to accept or tolerate delay, trouble, or suffering without getting angry or upset. Let me see what Webster say. Because you know Webster.
Come on. Apple and Spotify. We going to Webster for you. Come on.
This ain't even a word of God, but Webster, Merriam-Webster. Got me wanting to shed a little tear. It says the ability to endure pain or trials calmly and without complaint, despite opposition, difficulty, or adversity.
Wow.
I'm going to read that one again.
Come on, say that again, please.
Patience is the ability to endure pain or trials calmly and without complaint, despite opposition, difficulty, or adversity.
Wow. Read that very first part again.
The ability to endure pain or trials calmly.
Wow.
Calmly.
Wow. To endure calmly. Keep going.
And without complaint.
Immediately for me, as you were reading that, I thought about the children of Israel.
Oh my goodness.
Who were journeying along.
I've been thinking about them since we started talking.
Really?
Yes.
Come on. I want you to add to it. We're journeying along. On their way to the promised land, right? Yes. On their way to the milk and honey, on their way to what God said that he had for them, right?
Yes.
And here they are on their way. And at one split second, Moses said, do something that looks different than what they wanted to do, than what they expected to do. And they began to what? Complain and murmur. And the complaining and the murmuring kept them in a place that should have taken 11 days. 40 years because they didn't wait well. They weren't enduring with patience. They weren't enduring calmly. They were like, what you doing? You taking us? We would rather go back to slavery because we're familiar with it than to keep moving ahead and turn left or whatever the directive is instead of doing that because that's unfamiliar. Have you been there before?
Unfamiliar.
I have.
I know there have been many of 11 days that have turned into 40 years for me. Maybe not quite 40.
But longer.
Just a little bit.
Come on.
Over that.
Come on. Shout out to the 40 Club. I just made it.
But I know that there has been so many things that God has called me to be obedient in.
Wow.
And I was. And then I didn't like the way it looked. And I decided to complain.
Yeah.
And when what you focus on grows.
Yes, that's so good. I love the way Lisa Turkhurst says it. She's an author and a communicator. She says where you stare is where you're going to steer. Meaning wherever you look, that's the direction in which you're going to go.
I remember Bishop Charles Martin used to say that as well. He used to say, if you're driving down the highway and you happen to start looking to the right, where's your car going to start going?
Come on. Yep.
To the right.
Yes.
And so one of my
very good
foundation scriptures that I really like to focus on is in Philippians 4 and 8. And it really talks about how we think. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things.
Yes.
And I think that is the premise of us and how we can allocate our destiny is how we think. Because if we're thinking good thoughts, then we're going to steer towards good things.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But a lot of times we get to thinking, man, this ain't happening fast enough.
Right.
Man.
Or even overthinking.
That's so good. And we don't have to.
We don't have to.
We do not have to.
We don't have to
when
do
we're
that.
trusting God.
Yeah.
Because
it takes humility to trust. Come on.
It takes humility to trust. I'm gonna get this up.
What's wrong? It's bothering you?
Then it started dripping.
Patience is messy.
Well, let's say that. I done got this. I want to go grab a towel to kind of clean up, the little drippings, because when we stir, with the momentum and the liquefaction that's picked up, Tia said patience is messy, but we gonna kind of wipe this mess up just for now.
Because we have the ability and the equipment to wipe it up. Come on. Even though patience can be messy, that doesn't mean you leave it messy. Some moments may be messy, but you have what you need to do some cleaning. Maybe that's a person. Maybe that's a resource. Maybe that's a mindset. You know what I mean?
That is so good.
And I think it takes humility to even ask for help, right? Yes. Another ingredient of patience is humility. Yes. Like, do you have the humility to ask, hey, Brittany, can you hold this for me? Brittany, can you give this a little bit of a stir so I can shake my arm a little bit? You know what I mean? And here's the deal. My arm isn't even like, oh my goodness, getting ready to fall off. But this is what I think is important with that. You don't have to be in dire need before you say, can I get some help? You don't have to be at the end of your rope before you say, can I get some help? You don't have to be so devastated, if you will, in being patient before you say, can you help me? You can say, I'm starting the journey. Can you join me? Yes. And then when you're ready, you pick back up.
Look at that.
Thank you.
And even if you've been taught
good job too.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Even if you've been taught, like, don't ask for anything. Yeah. That's pride.
Yes.
All that impatience, imperfection, inconsideration. I'm trying to think of a good N word. Insecure.
Okay, that's
a form of pride.
Yes.
Yes. Inadequate.
Yes.
A form of pride.
Yes.
We don't need to be adequate. We don't need to be secure.
Right.
We need to trust God.
Yes.
And that's what that looks like. It looks like trusting the Lord with all your heart.
So good, Brittany.
And not leaning to what you know or what you think you know.
That's really good.
And so with God, I hope I can articulate this in a way that He gave it to me one day. I was on a trust journey, and He said, grace and mercy. My grace and my mercy is sufficient. He said that can be measured. He said, but what do you need grace and mercy for? You only need grace and mercy when you're not trusting me, when you fall out of trust with me. So that can be calculated, right? Yeah. Grace every day can be calculated. You get new grace, new mercy every day.
Right.
So for every day of your life, you got a new grace and new mercy coming.
Right.
But love is limitless, and love is patient.
Wow.
God says that we can love all that we want to. We can love anybody we want to, and we should be loving anybody and everybody and anything and everything. But that trust, that's for Him and for Him alone.
So good.
But with love, it is patience.
Yes, it is.
And we are patient to trust Him.
Yeah.
And we are patient to love ourselves so that we can trust Him.
Yeah.
Because He's so good to us anyway.
Is. So good, Brittany.
I hope that came across the way it should.
I think that's a beautiful way to wrap up this episode, y'all. What do you think? Come on, let us know. We want to hear from you.
Yes.
That was so very beautifully articulated. I think you said it just how it was supposed to be said. Yeah, great job. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely.
Y'all.
It's my honor. Can we get into this roux?
Listen,
do you see this color? Listen, if you're on YouTube, you got to see it from the beginning. And now we get to see the finished
It's so beautiful.
Work. It's beautiful. It's silky.
It smells good.
It smells like, amazing.
It smells like you somebody, grandma.
That's what one day. Like. It has a beautiful nutty aroma. That's what we're smelling. And here's the deal. The nutty aroma that we're smelling is going to come off like a deep, robust flavor when we taste it. It matters.
Didn't smell like that originally.
It did not. It took time to get here. Listen, someone needs to hear this today. It is going to take time to get to where you're trying to get to.
Yes.
It's going to take time to accomplish what you want to accomplish. The timing in which that is, that varies. It varies on the goal. It varies on the circumstance, the situation, and whom you're doing it with, and all the things. But it will take time, and that's okay, because it's worth it.
It is.
It's worth the time. So that is that. Listen, we don't want to burn our roux. And so we are going to turn off this fire. I'm going to keep stirring it just a little bit just to keep it moving. And then I'm going to take it off of this burner. But you all, this has been an amazing episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. Come on. Can y'all give a virtual hand clap for my girl, Brittany? Yeah.
Thank you.
We had an amazing time today talking about the ingredients of patience. As Brittany said, which was so very good. Brittany, I want to keep saying that because I want to say it right. Right? I'm not over enunciating. That's how you say her name. It matters, you know. I'm being patient with myself to get it correct.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. But you said it so well about 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8, and it begins with saying love is patient. So thank you for being patient with me today, making this roux. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode of the Tea with Teaa podcast, the Food and Faith edition. I hope that you caught all the tea today. That is transformation, encouragement, and application. Until next time, see you soon. Peace.